Okay, in this video I'm going to go over how I created these animated GIFs that I have in my Thingiverse products. So I just have this in a couple. What I noticed is the products that I have these animated GIFs as the first photo that people see when going through, they definitely get a lot more views than the other ones that I have that don't have that. So I'm going to go over the process of how I created the animated GIFs. First in Fusion 360, how I created the animation, and then what I did in Premiere Pro to convert it from an AVI file to the animated GIF so I could upload it to Thingiverse. Thingiverse doesn't take the raw AVI files, but does take animated GIF files. So first of all, I have this GoPro Hero case that I made in Fusion 360. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create these as components. Instead of just right now I have two bodies. I have a top and a bottom. I'm going to create components from bodies. And now that will create a top and a bottom component. So now when I go over into, let me close this for a second. Now when I go over into animation, I have two components, and so now I'm going to create an animation with these with the lid. I'm just going to have the lid go on and off. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the lid right there, and I'm going to go transform components. And I'm just going to raise the lid up. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to create an animation where the lid just goes down onto the lid. To get more into animations, you can watch a lot of other videos on creating animation, but I'm just doing a simple animation where the lid is going to go go on, and from off, and it's going to go on. So I just click OK here, and I'm going to drag my timeline over here and just make this let's make it a quick animation. 2 seconds, and then now I am going to go up here, and I am going to transform. I'm going to go restore home, and it goes back. So now when I click back in here and I hit play, it has it going on that. So I can create maybe a little bit of an animation of it just rotating a little bit after it goes on. I'll do that now. Let's see what that does now. So now it kind of rotates as it goes down. I can also go to where it's going to lift back up again. So what I can do is go here 2 more seconds. I go to the lid. I go I go here to transform components, and I'm going to lift it back off again and hit OK. So now what we should have is the lid going down, rotating, and the lid coming back off again. So there's my animation. So what I want to do is publish this animation, and we go up here to publish, and you've got a couple different choices. Normally I pick one of the higher resolution for doing animations for other things I'm going to put in YouTube videos or something like that. But when I'm going to add it to a Thingiverse profile, I just usually choose 800 by 600 and 4 by 3. So I'll go and create that, and I'm going to name it. Okay, and you just have to make sure where you want to put it. Right now I've got it going in a folder. That's where I want it. Okay, so now it's in that folder, and we are now going to open up Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere. Okay, in Adobe, I'm going to start a new project. I'm just going to type it Animation Tech. And this is where I want to put it. I don't need to do any of this other stuff. I don't need to do ingest settings. I'm just going to do a very simple, quick conversion. Okay, now I'm going to drag that AVI file that we created from Fusion 360 animation, and I dragged it into my project window for Adobe Premiere. And I'm just going to take that, I'm just going to drag it right down into the timeline. And right now it just has it in my timeline, so I can actually just play it in my timeline here, and it just shows it like that. Video, but we're just going to go up here to File. We're going to Export, Media. So just make sure when you pick, you have all the different choices you have for format for outputting in Adobe Premiere, and usually I have H.264 for putting stuff on YouTube and things, but we're going to select Animated GIF. Don't choose just GIF, because that just creates a whole pile of GIF files. You want Animated GIF. And then I'm going to save this, and it looks like it's going to be going to the folder that I want it to go to. And that looks good. We're just going to hit Export. Okay, so here's that GIF file, that animated GIF. Okay, it looks like it cut it off a little bit. It's just the way that I didn't have it centered correctly when I did the animated GIF, but that's easy to fix. Okay, so now I have our animated GIF, and now we're going to go back to Thingiverse. I'm just going to add this file to this one. We're going to go Edit Thing. We're going to go from my computer. I'm going to grab that animated GIF test that I had. Here it is. Open. Now it uploads nice and quickly. And there it is. So there's our new animated GIF down here. And it starts playing immediately. Because the file is pretty small, and it is a format that Thingiverse allows. And that's pretty much it. That's how you create an animated GIF in Fusion 360 and bring it into your Thingiverse profile so that you can have that on as your first photo that people see when scrolling through your different projects.